From this game with beautiful UI and tower designs, to this game with master upgrades that absolutely shred enemies, these are 3 underrated tower defense games you need to play. The first game on this list is Silly Tower Defense. As the name implies, Silly TD is supposed to be a funny, unserious take on the tower defense genre without many complex mechanics you need to master. Unlike most tower defense games, game modes in Silly TD are level locked, with the other 4 game modes besides Easy only being unlocked at levels 5, 10, 15 and 25 respectively. And because of just how slow level grinding in Silly TD is, I only played Easy mode when reviewing this game. The first thing I immediately noticed upon beginning my first game of Silly TD was just how amazing and polished the UI was. It not only displays everything you would need to see while playing a tower defense game, but also brings clear tower descriptions, targeting options and upgrade costs. Not only this, but the more I play, the more I began to appreciate the detail put into the animations for even just the starter tower, Darter. Despite being the default tower, Darter felt extremely fun to use due to its elemental dart mechanic, giving it a chance to either burn or stun enemies on hit. It's capable of soloing the entire mode up to the boss with relative ease on some of the easier maps, where I'm introduced to the fact that towers actually have HP in this game, similar to TDX. Obviously they die when their HP reaches 0. This is cool and all, considering I'm used to managing tower HP in boss fights, but when you consider the fact that the final boss is the only enemy in easy mode that attacks your towers, and is very good at one-shotting things actually, I imagine that this boss fight must be particularly brutal to players new to tower HP mechanics.
Despite all these strengths, the game has one major flaw: its speed. For the most part, enemies in Silly TD, even the fast ones, feel slow. In combination with the towers having genuinely slow animations, it makes each game feel a lot more grindy and long than actually fun, even though it does take less time to complete than most other TD games. The game does have a timescale mechanic, allowing you to speed the game up, but you don't unlock it until level 10, and since level grinding is so slow in Silly TD, you can be expected to do a lot of grinding in order to begin enjoying the game. Overall, I'd only recommend this game if the 2 other games featured in this video don't meet your fancy. Silly TD is a great game with good visuals, but it lacks the fast-paced gameplay to prevent it from being very fun.
This is Toy Soldiers, and it's definitely the most unique tower defense game on the entire platform. Instead of placing towers to stop enemies from reaching your base, you build a base in order to stop enemies from reaching your towers. You build bases using resources from the shop to defend your towers from the hordes of enemies each wave brings. Technically this means that you could say that Toy Soldiers doesn't count as a tower defense game, because its gameplay concept is kind of just the opposite of your usual tower defense game. But considering you're still using towers to defend enemies from reaching the location, I say it counts in my opinion, which is why it's on this list.
This game's main strength comes from the amount of creative freedom the game gives the player. You can build any base of any size anywhere on the map, provided you have enough resources. The game's simple but creative design is not only reminiscent of iconic games such as Build-A-Boat, but the added elements of strategy also make this a fun but rewarding game to play and progress through. You're able to unlock a variety of different towers, each with a similar green plastic toy appearance. The enemies also have a similar design, but with a less colourful grayscale appearance to set them apart. Also, have I mentioned just how funny builds can be in this game? Like, let me list all the stupid things you could do with just the opportunity to build. You can build a pyramid, you can build 3 different towers and watch them all fall as your troops ragdoll across the map to their inevitable deaths. You can play Jenga, you could build a chimney, or you could actually just try to win and build a proper defense, I guess. That's lame. Like seriously, if you ever wanted to know what happens when you cross Build-A-Boat for treasure and TDS, this is what you would get. However, like all games, Toy Soldiers isn't perfect. Despite the fact that the designs are intentionally made to be simplistic, a lot of the effects such as the animation for firing a gun, and even just the tower design in general, are a bit too simplistic for my taste. Probably because this game hasn't been updated in years. The game can also be a bit grindy at times, forcing you to replay all stages to farm bears, like currently used in the game. Bears are used to fry crates which give you resources or towers, and they can be dropped by enemies you defeat. While it seems fine at first, the drop rate for these bears appears to be relatively low. Only about 1 to 2 bears per 5 to 10 enemies killed is what I usually get. But overall, Toy Soldiers is still a very solid game that you can pick up and put down basically anytime you want, while still having an enjoyable experience. And now, for the final and best underrated tower defense game, we have... Arena Tower Defense is by far the most underrated TD game on the platform in my opinion. Although this opinion might be a little biased, since this is the only game on this list that I've actually played before making this video, because I used to play this game back in the summer of 2023 when it was popular. In terms of the core gameplay mechanics, it features the best parts of pretty much every popular tower defense game. You've got cash sharing and heroes similar to BTD6, you have hidden and led enemies similar to TDS, but on top of all of this, Arena TD brings so much more to the table. There are so many enemies with completely new mechanics and designs never seen in any other TD game that there's honestly way too many to list. That being said, I've still got to list some of my favorites. We have enemies which can steal some of your cash the longer they remain on the map. Enemies which spawn massive lasers that can stun towers when they die. Enemies that grow faster when they lose their armor. Enemies which get stronger the more towers you have placed down. Enemies that can clone themselves, and so much more. In terms of the towers, Arena TD doesn't fail to deliver there as well. On top of most towers having a hefty amount of lore behind them, every non-hero tower has a master upgrade that can only be bought for one tower, just like T5 monkeys in BTD6. These master upgrades genuinely feel massively superior to the normal level 5 towers, without feeling completely unbalanced due to their usually hefty cost. Even with the towers themselves, quite a few have completely original mechanics, such as the wizard, who can shrink enemies with their level 5 ability, and the artillerist, whose master upgrade gives him a literal nuke he can use at basically any type he wants. My first real favorite tower, however, is the accelerator. Like her brother from TDS, the tower uses a plasma gun to attack, but unlike TDS's accelerator, which is just a normal high DPS tower, Arena TD's accelerator requires 2 players to start dealing damage. And once those 2 are placed down, they connect their beams, creating what is effectively a solid wall of annihilation. The concept of a DPS tower synergizing with itself in this way is something I personally find absolutely amazing. Despite my experience with this game, however, it's also really beginner friendly. Most modes can be beaten with just the starter towers if you're in a team of at least 2 or more. And XP grinding is so easy, after one game of playing with my alter count, it went from level 0 to level 11. And considering only the strongest of towers are locked behind level requirements, it ends up creating what is honestly the most fun tower to get to on the platform. I honestly think Arena TD needs way more attention, and you definitely need to play it. In fact, the only reason you shouldn't play playing this game is that when compared to more popular TD games, Arena TD lacks the animation quality TDS and TDX have. But I mean, it's a Roblox game. Not everything has to be high art quality, bro. This game was last updated in 2023. You need to play this, bro. I'm serious, but you need to play this. Well, it appears we've reached the end of the video. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed this, and watch one of my other videos YouTube is recommending you next.